On June 28th, 2022, the January 6th committee had a surprise hearing and a surprise testimony from a woman named Cassidy Hutchinson, a former aide to Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff, which means she was in contact with a lot of people inside the White House, including Donald Trump. What she said was pretty fascinating. Not to mention the fact that it was a John Dean moment like everybody is expecting to be, but it was close enough. Now, the first thing she's mentioned, one of the major points that she mentioned, I'll be going through that in this video, is the fact that Rudy Giuliani met with Meadows on January 2nd, 2021. At the end of that meeting, Rudy Giuliani said, "Are you excited for January 6th?" Now, the fact is, we all know what happened on January 6th, and obviously he was excited about that. Not to mention the fact that she and several others had meetings with John Ratcliffe, the director of National Intelligence, in December of 2020, weeks after the 2020 election was called for Joe Biden. He said that he wanted nothing to do with the post-election situation. Obviously, the post-election situation is Donald Trump trying to steal the election and actually all of them getting caught by it. And it gets even worse. Emails about weapons potentially being brought during the January 6th attack, and Mark Meadows chose to ignore it. Now, she goes into detail into the tent just behind the ellipse, just before his speech, saying that the crowd was too small, that they were being delayed by the metal detectors in the hopes of finding weapons. Now, she went on record. Now, Hutchinson went on record saying that Donald Trump said, "I don't care that they have weapons." Now, that in itself should scare every single one of us out there. He doesn't care that they have weapons? This guy is the president of the United States about to speak in public. When you're out there, when you're the president, the U.S. Secret Service searches everyone for weapons. And the president didn't care? That in itself should scare you. And what really is, and the thing is, he tried to take the metal detectors away from the ellipse. That in itself should show everyone out there that Donald Trump knew what kind of people he was dealing with, but did nothing to stop them. Nothing. And obviously he did this speech, "We're going to march to the Capitol, blah, 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 yak, yak, yak." And the January 6th attack happened. And here's the point. January 6th happened, the Capitol attack happened, and Mark Meadows said and did nothing about it. But that wasn't the whole thing there. During this whole thing, Cassidy Hutchinson texted Tony Ornato, the current assistant director of the United States Secret Service Office of Training. Cassidy said, "But the crowd looks good from this vantage point as long as we get the shot." He was fucking furious. Ornato replied, "He doesn't get that the people on the monument side didn't want to come in. They can see from there and don't want to go through the mags." Why wouldn't they go through the metal detectors, the mags? Why? Because they had weapons. Maybe guns, knives, brass knuckles, whatever. But they had weapons. Plain and simple. Now, one of the things that really, that we need to really talk about is that what Donald Trump said in the presence of Cassidy Hutchinson. Take a look at this.
Part of the conversation I was in the vicinity of a conversation where I overheard the president say something to the effect of, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Let the people in. Take the effing mags away.
Take the effing mags away. Take the effing mags away. Take the effing mags away. I want you all to hear that, what he just said. Take the effing mags away. Now, sometimes we can chalk that up to his egotistical ass saying, I want the crowd is bigger, 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 bigger. But anyway, take the effing mags away. What if it was now I hate to say this and I don't want to say it, but I have to say it by the way of possibility. What if one of the people who showed up on that crowd was armed? More to the point, what if it was? What if one of those people who showed up were BLM or Antifa and who was armed? Think about it, you moron, Trump. I cannot stand this guy anymore, this ego of his. But it keeps getting worse. I'm just going to sneak this in here because Liz Cheney mentioned this during the hearing. Apparently, disgraced former Army General Michael Flynn testified in the disposition for the January 6th committee. He says basically he was asked simple questions that you and I could possibly answer. But this was his response.
General Flynn, do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified?
Do we have?
Yes.
All right, we're back. Congressman Cheney, could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. General Flynn, do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified?
Can I get a clarification? Is that a moral question or are you asking a legal question?
I'm asking both.
I said the fifth.
Do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified morally?
Take the fifth.
You believe the violence on January 6th was justified legally?
Fifth.
General Flynn, do you believe in the peaceful transition of power in the United States of America?
The fifth.
Simple questions that any American could possibly answer completely and concisely. Michael Flynn decided to take the fifth on all of them. Do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified? My answer would be, hell no, it wasn't justified. Do you think it was legal? Hell no, it wasn't legal. Do you believe that in the peaceful transition of power? Hell yes, I do. Simple questions that any real red-blooded American that Michael Flynn claims he is could have answered, but didn't answer. He took the Furman defense. And I think you all know who Detective Mark Furman is. When he was asked, did you plant any evidence during the O.J. Simpson investigation? He took his Fifth Amendment privilege. A question that any cop could answer saying, no, I didn't. And as for Michael Flynn, it shows to me that he does support it. That he doesn't support the peaceful transition of power. Michael Flynn just hanged himself in the worst possible way. And we shouldn't be surprised at that at all. But the big surprise, obviously, is that she's an eyewitness to what Trump said about the chant of hang Mike Pence. she confirms that Donald Trump actually said, "Hang Mike Pence," and he deserved it. Not to mention the fact that this is confirmed again by an ABC interview with John Carl.
Because it's common sense, John. It's common sense that you're supposed to protect. How can you, if you know a vote is fraudulent, right? Yeah. How can you pass on a fraudulent vote to Congress?
Not to mention the fact this tweet, of course, being read again, the main evidence of that from January 6th during the attack. But the real big surprise, well, it shouldn't be a surprise considering, was the fact that Kevin McCarthy, the January 6th committee replayed the video from Kevin McCarthy from ABC saying that Trump needs to stop this attack. Let's play that, shall we?
I want to quickly bring in Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader. Leader McCarthy, do you condemn this violence?
I completely condemn the violence in the Capitol. What we're currently watching unfold is un-American. I am disappointed. I'm sad. This is not what our country should look like. This is not who we are. This is not the First Amendment. This has to stop, and this has to stop now.
Leader McCarthy, the President of the United States has a briefing room steps from the Oval Office. The cameras are hot 24/7, as you know. Why hasn't he walked down and said that now?
I conveyed to the President what I think is best to do, and I'm hopeful the President will do it.
That is a very staunch difference from what we've been hearing from Mike McCarthy and what Mark McCarthy has done ever since January 6th. And not to mention ever since he went to Mar-a-Lago and kissed Donald Trump's ring. Maybe, hopefully, that's the only thing he kissed. Anyway, Mike McCarthy convicted by his own, Kevin McCarthy, I don't know why I keep calling him Mike. Kevin McCarthy convicted by his own words, saying he doesn't support what happened on January 6th, but says nothing about why January 6th happened. But dare I say, he's not the only one that tried to get Donald Trump to stop the attack. Here's a video of Mike Gallagher, another House member, Republican, begging Trump to stop the attack, which Donald Trump didn't.
President, you have got to stop this. You are the only person who can call this off. Call it off. The election is over. Call it off. This is bigger than you. It's bigger than any member of Congress. It is about the United States of America, which is more important than any politician. Call it off. It's over.
Now, I won't rehash what people have said, the text messages, obviously from Donald Trump supporters, not to mention members of the Donald Trump right-wing media, because we already entered that evidence. I won't rehash all that. But it's a lot. A lot. But here's a text message from Sean Hannity of Fox News, the Kayleigh McEnany, I don't give a crap if I said her name correctly, the former press secretary to Donald Trump, that we didn't see. Now, it was it was sent on January 7th, the day after the attack. Quoting, "No more election talk. Yes, 25th impeachment and 25th Amendment are real, and many people will quit. He was intrigued by the pardon idea. Hunter." Well, I'm guessing he meant Hunter Biden. I don't give a crap. "Resistant, but listened to Pence's thoughts to make it right. Seemed like attending an inauguration talk." Oh boy. As if the things couldn't get worse, it does. Not too long after the attack happened, before Donald Trump posted his I love you all, I love you all, but you got to go home. Before he posted that stupid video of his on Twitter, when he had a Twitter page, he decided he didn't want to say anything or didn't say anything wrong about any of the people who took place in that attack. And we all know why. The fact is this woman, Cassie Hutchinson, did the right thing by testifying. She had the guts to testify, as did everyone else who testified during these hearings. But here's what really is scaring me, and I think everyone should pay attention to this. Donald Trump went on his favorite, you know what, I'm not even going to read any of those truths on Truth Social, because they're full of shit, and they piss me off just looking at them. He basically said, I don't know this woman, I don't know her. Oh, that's right, you don't know her because you didn't try to fuck her. Is that it? You only know the women you tried to fuck? Is that it? He's a phony. It's all a phony. I never said this. I never said it. Yes, you did, Trump. We have an eyewitness that says you did. And more to the point, I keep asking everyone, every Trump supporter I talk to, what is the motive for any of these people who testified in any of these hearings to lie? Why would they lie? Trump, you're going down for this. Now, the only way for you to rebut any of this, for any of you to rebut any of this, to say that all of this isn't true, is for you to testify. But you're not going to do that because you're too much of a coward to testify. You're too much of a coward to testify because you know the moment you do, you're fucked. Your life is over. Now you might not see a jail cell for any of this. Your family and your friends, they may get away with it. Or you might give them up. You might turn into a rat. But in the end of the day, Trump, you're going down for this. So have the good common courtesy of going out like a man. The man you say you are, but we know you're not. Fact is, Trump, your time as a free man is winding up. You may not go down for this, and your stupid-headed supporters are going to continue to lick your boots. But in the end of the day, you're finished. Your political career is over. And for your sake, you're going to pay the price. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.